Today we'll be designing a Photoshop birthday flyer, and now the first thing we are going to do is to create our workspace. Click on create. When you click on create, then you set your workspace. We are going to make it 1080 by 1080 pixels. The resolution will be 300 and the color mode will be RGB color because we are not printing it. Then you click on create. When you click on create, it might take a bit time for it to show your workspace. Then here is our workspace. The first thing we are going to do now is to import our background. You come here, you click on it, you get your background. We go to anywhere you save your background and import it. I save mine under document, and that is why I clicked on document. Now when this shows, I'm going to find my background where I saved it. So this is my background. I'll click on it now and drag it to my Photoshop. So when you drag it to your Photoshop, it might take a bit time for it to show. So here is the background. I'm going to resize it to fit into the correct shape, into our workspace. So I'll click on shift, I'll hold my shift key and then drag it down. And here is it. We are done. You click here. So the next thing we are going to do is to import our image. I already have my image on my system, so I'll click here, go to my document to find my image. So here is my image. I'll drag it to my Photoshop. So this is my image. I will resize it to fit into the shape. I'll resize it to how I want it to be. So let me quickly put a guideline. I'll quickly put a guide that can help me to align my work very well, so that I can get exactly whatever I want to do with it. So what I'll do now is to bring this. I'll bring it here. Here will be okay. Then this is where I would like to start my test. So this tree guideline is to help me place my work very well. So I want my image to be on the second line. So because of that, I will have to make it bigger. Let me make the image bigger so that I can bring it down, make it bigger. I think this size is okay. So now I've placed my image the way I want it to be. I'll click on this arrow. What I'll do now is to click on this arrow here. When I click on it, the image is already properly placed. So the next thing I want to do is to quickly draw a triangle. So I'll click here. Let me put a guideline that can help me to get the exact place I want it to be. So I'm trying to place it in a place where I can. Okay, this is cool. Then the next will be mind you, the reason why I'm bringing out all these guidelines, the reason why I'm doing that is so that my work can be properly aligned. I'm just trying to put my work very well so that it will be well aligned. That is why I'm putting all of this. So this is how I want to draw a triangle now. But even if you like, you will not use all of this. Let me remove it and just draw it free-handedly. Let me just remove it and just draw it free-handedly. Then I'll click on my triangular tool, then select the triangular tool, then come here. I want it to start from here. I want to start drawing from here, so I'll click on it, draw my triangle. This is the triangle. It's okay this way. So what I'm going to do now is to give it a color. I'll give my triangle a color. The color I want to use is yellow color. So the color mode, the color will be, let's quickly put the color. The yellow color I want to use is FBB 10:6. This is in case if you want to recreate this work. This is the color number, this is the color that I use. Then you click on OK. The color will change. As you can see, I cancelled the stroke so that it will not have stroke. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I want this to be into 3. I want it to be into 3. So for me to get that, let me put it in shape so that I can actually get the shape I want. So let me reduce it. Have you seen what it does now? When I put this line, it helped me to know the exact place I want my work to get to. So this is it now. It's now okay. So the next thing we are going to do now is to duplicate it. Let's quickly duplicate it. I want it to be into 3. So before you click your Ctrl J, make sure you click on this arrow. Now I've clicked on the arrow. You can see what will happen if I press Ctrl J. That means I've duplicated it. This is it. I've duplicated it into 3. It's now into 3. This is it. So, but I don't want the 3 of them to have the same color. I want to change the colors so that it will look more fine. So you come here, you come to this place, you double click inside it, and then you put the color you want. You can select from here, you can select from his dress, you can select anywhere. But then I have a particular color code I want to use for it, and that is why I'm coming here. So the color code I want to use is just FFF. But I selected, as you can see, it's changed the color. It's not the one that I want to change the color that I changed. So I selected the wrong layer. So because I selected the wrong layer, what I'll do now is to click on the layer that I want, click on it, double click it, and then come here and change the color code, which is FFF. So this is the color mode I want to use. You click on OK. You can actually come here and choose the color as I earlier said. So you click on OK. After clicking on, you click on OK. So I also want to change the color of this yellow. So what I'll do is to come here, I'll do the same thing I did on the other one, then change the color code because I already have a particular color in mind. That is why I'm changing the color code. Otherwise I could have just select a random color or anything. So what I use for the blue, it's a blue color, but it's a particular kind of blue. For 38. So that is the color I used. That's the color I used. So I'll come here, I'll click on OK. When you now click on OK, the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure all of them are in the same size. I want it to be together but not two on each other. I just want it to be close to each other. That is why I'm moving it. So now I want this to be under my image. So I'll come here, I'll click on the image, I'll take my image up. With that way, the image is already above my image will be above the triangles. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want this image to be in that place that is white. So I'm going to take the image back a bit. The next thing I'll be doing is to put my text. But before I put the text, I want to put a circle here. I want to really make this background look so beautiful. So because of that, I'll come here, click on it, right click on it, and now select my circle tool. I'll come here, I'll now draw a circle. Like I want to give it a shape. So for you to get a perfect circle, you have to hold your shift key. When you hold your shift key, you saw what happened without my shift key. Now I click on shift key, then you draw it, you take it down. So that is how to draw that circle. So but I want the circle to have this color, to have a color around this place. So I'll double click inside the circle, I'll click on the circle, then double click here, just click on it, don't double click. You come here, I will select the kind of color I want it to have. I think this is perfect. Click on OK. So let me put it in a better way. Let me bring in something like a palm tree, a palm front here. So I already have it downloaded from Google. You can go to Google and download anything you want. Just type it and it will bring it out. So I saved it under my documents. So I will look for it now. So this is it. I'll click on it, drag, bring it to Photoshop. I'll bring it here. So but now it's not the way I want it to be. So let me quickly rotate it. I'll turn it upside down. And this is it. Let me rotate it more. So it's okay like this now. So you click here and it will fit in properly. So the next thing we are going to do now is to still put something to make it very fine here. So let's put something. So let's just type dots. Let's just use dots. So let me quickly put dots. Click on dots into 4. So that is it. Now I'll be reducing the size. Let me reduce the size to let me make it small. I think this is okay. Let's come here. Let's make it 6. It's still big. Let's make it 4.5. 4.5. This is okay. Then let's use Montserrat medium. Let's just use the Montserrat regular. I think regular will be better. Yeah, this is perfect. So let's take it up. Let's take it to here. Let's take it to here. Let's make sure that there is no too much space in between them. I think this is now perfect. So I want to also put it down here. I want it to be down here, and I want to put another one down here. So because of that, I will quickly click on Ctrl J. When I click on Ctrl J is to duplicate. So I'll quickly bring it down here. And I'm going to do now I've finished setting my background the way I want it. The next thing I'll be doing now is to type. So let me quickly go and type. happy, the color. Let's change the color here. Click here, then select the color you want and click on OK. So in the happy, the font we use for the happy is Montserrat. If you don't have it, you can install it on your laptop or desktop or your phone, anyone. So then let's use Montserrat bold because I want it a kind of bold, but then I don't want it too big. Let's reduce the size. Let's make it, I don't want it too big. Let's just make it 10, and let's bring it here. Let's bring it up. I think here is better. So the next thing I'm going to do is to type the birthday. So now I've typed the birthday. It's still Montserrat that we use, but then we want it more bold, so we are going to use the extra bold. Then let's make it big. Let's use 48. I think that is too big. Let's make it 40. Yeah, and as you can see, now we made it 40. It's still big, so let's give space in between them. Let's give the space. Let's make it 30. That is too close to each other. Let's just add 32. Let's make it 32. This is okay now. Now we've made it 32. The next thing we are going to do is I want it to have a bit space in between it. So that is it. I think it's now perfect. Now what we are going to do is to place it. Remember, I want it to be above those shapes we gave under the image. So I'll bring it up here. So now it's already above it. The next thing I'm going to do is to put it in shape the way I want it to be. So let me quickly put a guideline that can help me to guide everything I will be putting here. So now I've put the guideline. I'm going to make sure that everything is okay. So this is it. I want to really put it the way it will be guided. I don't want to have some letters that will be off, some that will not be well placed. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to make sure that the happy is well placed. So for me to do that, let me change the color of this birthday. Let me change the color. I want it to be white. I think this is better. So now let me come here. I'll click on this happy. Let me make it big. 200. It doesn't still fit. So let's make here 300. So let's also align it. The most important thing in graphic designing is your alignment. So always make sure that your work is properly aligned. That is the most important thing. So let's now put the date of the birthday. So if you want to use the same font that we use for the happy for October, it will make it, I want it to be aligned with the happy. So it's longer using 9th October. So because of that, I want to change the font. Let me change it to something else. So the font I use here is Baba's Nebi. I don't know if I'm getting the name sha, but I'll put a link on the description so that you can download the font if you want to use it. So this is the font I used. So let me quickly make it bigger. I think it's small, so let me make it let's make it bigger. Let's make it 12. 12 is okay, but then let's change here and make it 0. So I think it's now okay. It's okay this way. So we'll make sure that our work is aligned. That is what we always do. Once we finish anything, the first thing we are going to do is to always make sure that it's well aligned. So this is it. It's now properly aligned. The next thing we are going to put is to put the birthday test. So I'm going to type it now. I'll get back when I'm done. So I'm done typing now. Now that I'm done typing, what I'm going to do is to change the color. I don't like the color. I want it to be white. So it's now white color. And let's align our work. Let's align it. So this is it. It's now properly aligned. The next thing we are going to do is to add the name of the celebrant. The name of the celebrant is. The next thing I'm going to do now is to change the font. I want a more beautiful font. So the name of the font I use is GT Herin. GT Herina. So I'll click on it. I've selected it. If you don't have it, you can go and download it and then install it on your system. So the next thing we are going to do now is to make it bigger. It's too small. People cannot see it. You know, the most important thing in your work is to make it visible that people can see. When people can see your work, it's as in the work is already okay because it has done its purpose. The purpose of this making a flyer is so that people can see it and people can admire it. So when people cannot see your work, it means you've done nothing. So let's make the color. I think the color is already okay. We've used a white color. So now that we are done with our designing, the next thing we are going to do is to look at your work. Anytime you are done designing a particular project, what you're going to do is to make sure you look at that work and ask yourself what is remaining. Just do a summary, like you are just checking on everything. So what I want to do now is, I don't like how it's too down here, so let me bring this more up. Now it's up. Let me shift this to be a little bit up. That is okay now. So this October will come up a bit. This is okay and this is okay. So our work is now fine. So let me quickly shift this a bit. I want it to go up a bit. I don't want it to be touching my happy. I don't want it to touch it. So this is it now. So now we are done. We are finally done with our designing. Let me show you how you can save your work and also export it for the beginners. You click on File, go straight to Save. If you have saved it before, you go to Save As. Then you click on, you type anything you want to save it with. Let me quickly save it with T. Let me save it with birthday tutorial, which is BT. Let me just type BT. Click on Save, click on OK. Then for you to export your work, go to File, click on Export As. Then when you click on Export As, it might take a bit time to show up. Don't get scared. Don't click now that is loading. You wait for it to finish loading, then you click on Export All. When you click on Export All, make sure that it's saving where you can find it. Like me, I like saving all my work under documents. That is why I always click on documents, click on save, and then my work is saved. So you can tell me what next you would love me to design, and please comment, tell me what you want me to design in my next video, and I will do that. If you want to recreate any of this, I will put in the description how you can get the front